Remember how we were going to have the 39th game abroad?
It's terrible, isn't it?
It's ended up at La Liga, where they're having one of their regular fixtures in Miami.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's been rumoured for a few years, hasn't it? It looks like it's happening on the 22nd of December, Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid.
It ruins, I'm afraid, the sporting integrity of La Liga this year is completely blown apart. That's not a home game for Barcelona, is it?
Well, it's not. No, it's simply not.
Even though it's going to be positioned as a home game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's not a home game.
Sad, isn't it? It's really sad.
It's horrible.
Do you think if it goes well, the Premier League will jump straight on?
Immediate.
Or German football or Italian football?
The Premier League, everybody will want, I think all of the governing bodies will be really gutted that La Liga have picked them to the post for this.
Really, yeah.
I'm asking you this so I can get your thoughts, I'm not saying I agree with it because I hate the idea of it, but why is it bad for football?
I mean, I don't know where to start with this because my head is about to explode. It's about as bad as it could be in terms of what football is supposed to represent. It's the biggest V sign that you could possibly deliver to football fans. So if you're a Barcelona fan, bearing in mind there will be Barcelona fans who are 47 years old who haven't missed a game for 23 years, home away in Europe. They now have to go to a home game against Atletico, big game for them. They now have to fly to Miami to support their team.
Some people would say it's one game. Surely the international audience deserves a game.
No, the international audience love Barcelona. They love what Barcelona are and what Barcelona represent. They therefore come to Barcelona to experience Barcelona. Barcelona doesn't come to you.
It's a pilgrimage, isn't it?
Yeah. It's being a football supporter is about the commitment that you demonstrate and the love that you demonstrate in supporting and following your team. Your team doesn't follow you.
What about the sporting integrity of it in terms of, let's say, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid? They're both doing very well in the league this season. Obviously, Atletico Madrid looking on fire. What if it affects the actual...
That's what I'm saying.
The practice and the warm-up for the game, the kind of routine of all the players. Mate, that's the time difference to get to Miami from Spain's huge.
Mate, this is exactly what I'm saying as well, though. Like, the Barcelona home fixture isn't a home fixture. So if Atletico and Barcelona and Real Madrid are all at the top of the league going for the league and there is a point between them, Atletico Madrid are more likely to take 3 points off Barcelona in a neutral venue than they are going to the Nou Camp.
Definitely.
So it kind of ruins the league. It makes life far harder for Real Madrid. It makes life far harder for Barcelona, who effectively lose a home game.
Fatigue of players. I mean, not to be droning on about player fatigue,
but players can't then go, and clubs can't go, and managers can't go. Hey, our players are so tired. Then why are you flying them around the world middle of the season? Yeah. It's like, was it Spurs Newcastle at the end of the season?
Yeah, week after.
They're all complaining and they've just flown off to like Australia or somewhere for. How does this make any sense when then you've got players going like Rodri, like Varane, who are correct in what they're saying, but they're complaining about how much minutes they're playing, how many games, fatigue. You've got talk about potential strikes, all these different things going on. And then you got clubs going, yeah, let's fly to Miami for a regular league game. What the hell?
I just find things like this so upsetting, and so it sort of messes with my equilibrium about what football is and what football is supposed to represent and who football is for. This isn't an opportunity for bureaucrats and an opportunity for venture capitalists to extract as much money out of the game as possible and take it to the States, the home of corporatization. Barcelona playing against Atletico Madrid is a wonderful Spanish occasion. It should be presented as such and preserved as such. It's hateful that is going to America for no reason other than financial reward.
I think FIFA in a really difficult position because you look at the Club World Cup stuff that they're trying to do next summer, the lack of sponsorships that they've got on TV rights, the lack of interest from footballers as well, and obviously fans around the world kind of saying we're not going to be necessarily interested in the same way about it. They can't get these clubs to do the Club World Cup in the same way. There'll be B-list sides and it won't be that interesting. But then it's hard because you have to get these sides to play league games in foreign countries. That will be hated as well. You can see FIFA trying to get basically Barcelona, Chelsea, Manchester United, all these clubs playing around the world. It's really difficult.
It's also mad. It's funny you bring up the FIFA Club World Cup thing because also talk about like absolutely blowing any integrity the tournament has out of the water. You're like just inventing ways to put Messi and Miami in. Like, since they've like gone over the head of MLS and stuff, who like to award their spots to whoever wins the MLS Cup or whatever, and just gave it to them for winning some random tournament. Just so Messi's there. It's like, do you want us to take this tournament seriously or not? What's going on? And it's the same with La Liga. Do you want us to take La Liga seriously or not? When you're just booting games.
What happens if they
into
get there
Miami.
and the stadium in Miami's flooded? Whatever, or the weather's or it's really humid, or whatever. Why should these players have to deal with massively different situations?
Ruben Loftus-Cheek's career the trajectory of his career was completely affected, not in a positive way, by a meaningless friendly in the States during Chelsea season. Roman Abramovich was desperate to play a game in Boston for an anti-Semitism charity event. Chelsea were playing in Baku a few days later, and the game went ahead, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, his career never really recovered. There is a case study that proves that this is awful. It's a slap in the face to all proper football fans, and the sad thing is, there is only more of this to come. This is part of it. How many American owners are in the Premier League at the moment? How many?
10.
And what? I say 4/5 of the Premier League are now foreign owned. Like, this is clearly the first step to Manchester United playing against Liverpool in Jeddah.
It could also be looked at the Saudis who have just pumped loads of money into La Liga as well and basically owned the joint. It's probably them trying to maximise how much money they're making out of it as well. So now you've got external interests suddenly are so important to, because you've seen all the La Liga clubs pulling levers left, right and centre.
Maybe I'm being naive about this. Okay, the stadium in America, they're going to sell expensive tickets, load of merchandise. Obviously, is a massive revenue opportunity in terms of 80,000 people in Miami. I get that, obviously. But apart from that, is it making that much money?
Yeah.
Well, the Saudis go, look, sorry, go on, bro.
No, part of the reason why it will make so much money is the ambition and genuine reality is that you convert fans.
So you create brand awareness in a whole different way. But do you really? One game?
No, it does, yeah.
You know the NFL
It's
comes
like
to
how
London.
you see NBA in Paris, don't you? You see like a
NFL
regular
and
season
Spurs.
game in Paris for the NBA.
But I don't follow American football. It's been coming here for 4 or 5 years now at Spurs Stadium. I know a lot of mates that go and watch it and enjoy it.
Globalising the game,
Look how many people in the UK love NFL now.
Has it improved massively though?
I think there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
And also remember, the previous examples of football clubs doing this, friendly tours or whatever you want to call it, even those like weird tournaments that they try and create, that they try and give some prestige to, that we ignore, that are seen as being significant elsewhere, they don't matter. This is a league game with 3 points in La Liga, on the La Liga table at stake. People, if you are a football fan from America, you will travel to Miami. It's going to have a huge impact on Miami. There is a massive football awareness.
There's a huge Latin American crowd over there.
So converting some of those football fans in Miami, and bearing in mind, you know what? This sounds so horrible. How are we talking about this on a podcast? This is hateful. But you know what you want if you are a brand? Do you know what you're trying to get? Ultimately, you're after men of a certain age with disposable income. That's Miami. That's what they're going there for, to convert those people.
Ahead of the World Cup as well, 2026.
Ahead of the World Cup. It's so bad.
It's also like, the Saudis who have basically gone, we run Matchroom and Boxer and that, so we'll bring the best fights to you. They've basically done the same with La Liga. They've gone, we run this shit now, so where do you want one of the best games in La Liga? All right, we'll bring it there. And they're going to be doing that all over the place, I imagine.